finally ready to go to Denmark. Basically, that's the only thing I'm taking with me, so that's just a bag. Guys, this is freaking crazy. So I've got the wrong bus. My plane is in 2 hours. I'm in a different city. I don't know what's the name of the city. I'm somewhere like in between. I don't know. So guys, I'm finally ready to go to Denmark. So my plane in 2 hours. So see you in 2 hours then. That's the only thing I'm taking with me, so that's just a bag. No, breaking away. That's just a small bag, and that's it.
To get from the airport to Aarhus city center, I took a bus number 925, so the ride takes approximately 40 minutes and the ticket costs from 17 to 18 euros. So not the cheapest bus ride I've ever taken, but welcome to Denmark! So after arriving in the city, I felt absolutely starving, and a few minutes later I found one of the most popular food spots in Aarhus. That's Aarhus street food. What's interesting is that this place is located inside the city's former bus garages. So instead of buses, today you'll find food from all over the world. So more than 20 food stalls operate here under one roof, making it one of the city's favorite meeting places. So in the end, I went for a burger and cherry beer. So the burger was about 15 euros and the beer cost around 11. The Danish prices can hurt a little, but honestly, everything was 10 out of 10. With my stomach finally happy, I started exploring Aarhus. One thing I noticed almost immediately was the amount of art everywhere. Murals cover entire buildings, and sometimes even the roads themselves look like part of an art exhibition. Feels like the city doesn't separate everyday life from the creativity. That is so cool. Good morning from Aarhus. The weather was a little bit windy but still pleasant. Before leaving, I bought a coffee at the hostel for around 5 euros and enjoyed a peaceful morning cigarette. But unfortunately, the breakfast in the hostel ended at 10 a.m. and I woke up at 11, so I needed to find a breakfast. So as I walked into the city, I noticed something Denmark is famous for: bicycles. They are absolutely everywhere. For the breakfast, I found a small place in the old town called Barista. I ordered fresh bread, butter, coffee, and something that surprised me a little. Instead of cheese, many locals enjoy putting chocolate on the bread for breakfast. The barista told me that it's quite common, so naturally I had to try it myself. That was not healthy at all, but that was absolutely delicious. This place is called Den Gamle By, which literally means the old town. It's not just a museum filled with objects behind glass, it's an entire historical town built from real houses that were moved here from different parts of Denmark. The museum opened more than 100 years ago and today contains around 75 historic buildings. I paid about 15 euros for entry thanks for my student discount. Regular tickets are usually quite a bit more expensive, like around 20-25 euro. The strange thing about this place is how quickly your brain accepts it as real. After a few minutes, it stops feeling like a museum. It feels like you've accidentally stepped a century or two into the past.
Guys, this can be real.
Every house here has a story. Many of these buildings once stood in real Danish towns where families lived, worked, argued, celebrated weddings, raised children, and survived harsh winters. When modernization threatened to demolish them, historians carefully dismantled the buildings piece by piece and reconstructed them here. So when you are walking through these rooms, you are not looking at replicas. You are standing inside homes where real people spent their lives hundreds of years ago. Just imagine living here without electricity, running water, central heating, or the internet. So suddenly my hostel room started looking very luxurious. The woman you see here actually works as part of the museum experience. She was dressed exactly as women would have been around 100 years ago and was demonstrating traditional work from this period.
Basically, you can get inside every single house here. Everything is open.
This house may look simple by today's standards, but for the people who lived here, it was their entire world. Families often shared very small spaces, sometimes with several generations living under the same roof. Winters were long and cold, work was physically demanding, and every object inside the house had a practical purpose. There was very little room for luxury, but plenty of rooms for survival. Then I started hearing strange noises coming from above. For a moment I thought the house might actually be haunted, but it turned out the sounds were coming from a small exhibition hidden in the attic. Inside, a short film tells the story of the house and the people who once lived here.
De private opholdsrum mod gården fik ved den store modernisering i 1768 til i hverdagen.
Honestly, it was one of the coolest surprises in the museum. While exploring the town, I found two guys playing music on an old mechanical instrument, so naturally I couldn't just walk past.
Oh, we got to... Yeah.
Oh.
That's my mistake.
Bit faster, maybe.
Faster.
It can be a bit hard to find the rhythm.
I'm a musician now.
Yeah, you're doing great.
And just when everything was going perfectly, Denmark reminded me that Scandinavian weather can change its mind every 5 minutes. It started raining. To escape the rain, I hid inside an old butcher's shop. This was one of the most fascinating exhibits because everything looked incredibly realistic. The cuts of meat, the tools, the counters. At first glance, it felt like a real working business. Back in the 19th and early 20th centuries, local butcher shops played a huge role in daily life. Refrigerators didn't exist in most homes, so people bought fresh products almost every day. The museum even lets visitors step behind the scenes and see how meat would have been prepared before being sold. And somehow I also ended up playing a game on a screen, like educational tourism at its finest. When the rain finally stopped, I found the playground filled with traditional games and toys from the past. Children here could try activities that were popular long before smartphones existed. Wooden hoops, stilts, skipping ropes, spinning tops, ring toss games, marbles, and various balance challenges. Honestly, watching these old games made me realize that kids were finding ways to have fun long before Wi-Fi was invented. little later, I came across a beautiful garden filled with flowers. The museum maintains several historical gardens to show what people used to grow in different periods of Danish history. Some flowers were planted purely for beauty, while others were used for medicine, cooking, and even making dyes. After almost 3 hours of walking through history, I decided it was finally time to leave. On my way to the deer park, I accidentally found this amazing little ice cream cafe. I ordered pistachio ice cream and honestly, that was 10 out of 10. No notes. The closer I got to the southern part of Aarhus, the more the city started changing. Suddenly, there was less traffic, more trees, colorful flowers everywhere, and so much fresh air. It almost felt like I had left the city behind. The deer park is about an hour's walk from the city center, and I decided to walk because the weather was beautiful and the views were definitely worth it. But if you don't feel like walking that much, Denmark makes life easy. You can ride a bicycle through the Donkey Republic app. A day pass costs around 14 euros, and cycling is probably the most Danish way to explore the city. The route itself almost became an attraction. On one side there were forests, on the other the sea. Well, technically it's not the ocean. Aarhus sits on the coast of the Kataga Sea, the stretch of water connecting the North Sea and the Baltic Sea. Also, the beaches here are clean, peaceful, and surprisingly natural considering they are so close to the city. Honestly, if I lived in Aarhus, I'd probably walk this route every weekend.
Guys, I'm so freaking tired and I can't find any deers. They should be here, somewhere over here, but there's nobody.
So after almost 1 hour, I finally arrived, but had only one tiny problem. There were absolutely no deer.
Oh my god, Jesus, I found them. I found them. Sure if I can pet them, but I'll try.
This deer park has been home to free-roaming deer since the 1930s. The animals aren't fenced into small enclosures, they wander through a large natural forest, which makes meeting them feel much more authentic than visiting a zoo. And yes, they're every bit as adorable as they look. One funny thing I noticed, the deer seem to trust children more than adults, like much more than adults. Kids could often get surprisingly close, while the moment a grown-up approached, like the deer suddenly remembered they had somewhere very important to be. So of course I spent the next half hour trying to convince one of them that I was friendly, and spoiler, I failed. I failed repeatedly. Apparently I was not giving off trustworthy deer energy. I guess. But honestly, I can't blame them. They're wild animals after all, and it's actually a good sign that they still keep a comfortable distance from people. And still I want at least one pet. because this was Denmark, it started raining. Again. At this point, I wasn't even surprised anymore. So I walked back toward the beach. Rain or not, this coastline has something incredibly peaceful about it. The sound of the waves, the wind, the endless horizon. Sometimes traveling isn't about rushing from one attraction to another. Like sometimes it's just about sitting somewhere beautiful and doing absolutely nothing. After walking almost 30,000 steps that day, I decided I'd earn a few minutes lying on the grass. So honestly, best decision of the day. For the first time during the trip, I actually managed to wake up early enough for the hostel breakfast. It cost around 14 euros and was surprisingly fresh and really tasty. I immediately smashed my soft-boiled egg because I thought it was hard-boiled. Not the proudest moment. So here is what happened. Remember the airport bus I took when I first arrived? Its number was 925X, and this time I accidentally boarded bus 912X. I even asked the driver, does this bus go to the airport? He smiled and said like, yes. The problem was I never asked which exact airport. So for almost an hour I happily enjoyed the ride, convinced everything was going perfectly. Then I opened Google Maps. Instead of driving toward Aarhus airport, I was heading toward Balloon airport, completely different city. So I asked the driver to stop the bus, so he stopped in 10 minutes. So I went out and I took different bus, not mine, spoiler, not mine. I took a different bus which took me to totally different cities. So for these 2 hours I visited like 2 or 3 cities in Denmark. And so from that place I took a train ticket for 3 euros to get back to Aarhus city.
Guys, this is freaking crazy. This is freaking crazy. So I've got the wrong bus. My plane is in 2 hours and I've got the wrong bus. Now I'm in a different city. I don't know what's the name of the city. I'm somewhere like in between. I don't know. And I can't get to the airport in time, so I don't know what to do basically. So I've got some kind of train ticket, so I guess maybe this will help and maybe I'll be able to get there in time. That's me. Oh my gosh.
So the train got me close enough to Aarhus, where I finally caught the correct airport bus. The driver checked my ticket, just laughed and said like, girl, if you had stayed on that first bus, you could have ended up in Germany. So at the same time, 2 guys I'd met at the hostel started texting me like, where are you? We were supposed to be on the same flight. So I explained them everything, and about 20 minutes before I reached the airport, they sent another message. The flight has been rescheduled. I have never felt so relieved. For about only 3 seconds, by the way, yes, because then the next message arrived. It leaves 20 minutes earlier. Yep, 20 minutes earlier. So I mean, I officially missed my flight. By the time I reached the airport, there wasn't much left to do except reality. So I just bought some food, because somehow food always makes disasters feel a little smaller. So while waiting for the bus back to the city, I started talking to another driver. So we just laughed about everything that had happened. And before I left, he handed me a few Danish kroner and refused to take any money for the ride. So I still carry those coins with me today. They're my little lucky charm. So instead of being upset, I booked another flight and another night in the same hostel. And honestly, that felt right. That evening I walked through the night Aarhus for the last time. The streets were so quiet and the city looked completely different at night. So I understood one thing: sometimes the best travel stories begin exactly when your plans fall apart. So the next morning I had exactly the same breakfast, took one last walk through the city, and yes, this time I got on the right bus. So guys, thank you so much for coming along on this adventure, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.